Today we're going to concentrate on the forehead and the upper part there of the tuft between the ears. So if you notice between there, it's got a lot more browny colours into it, and then it sort of fades up into light. So what I'm going to do is take our terracotta again. There we go, as a reminder, and that's the polychromos terracotta. And if you haven't got that, then the combination of a orange, like an orangey light brown, will suffice. And just remember to actually press lightly if you're going to use that combination. So we just want to make sure we're going into the direction of the fur again. So we continue that way, and then we'll just set this as the foundation of what we're working through. So we'll just go over to the base of the ear. Okay, I'm going to take out that part, level that part of the line drawing, because it's a bit dark and we know we're going to be going lighter on that part. Just take a dab of that now. Okay, alright, just go back over that with this. Just following the lines here very lightly. And from the bit that we've already done, that will need going over again towards the end. It's one of those things where you do that bit and then you walk away, and when you come back with a fresh set of eyes, you can sort of see any bits that need changing. So if you ever come to the end of a drawing and you're not sure whether it's finished or not, rather than overworking it and losing it entirely, I know it's probably difficult, but just try and take some time away from it. Maybe come back the following day and have a look at it again, and then you can see whether whether any changes need to be made, if colour needs to be added, if because there's certain areas here that need to be probably a bit more vibrant in different areas, and some areas need to be a bit lighter. But I've in between this tutorial and the previous tutorial, I've actually come up with a solution which I'm going to try out a bit later on, and I'm going to use a white museum aquarelle pencil. So that's what it looks like. Oh, there you go, that's what it looks like. Now this is a watercolor pencil. I mean, you can use it dry and you can use it wet, and sometimes if you slightly dampen the end of it, there we go, you can get some white on top of the colour pencil. But we'll try that out later. If you haven't got that, don't worry too much. Just see if you can get either some white colour pencil on top of it, or if you try doing subtraction technique and then adding in the lighter colour on top of the pigment that you've removed. So just going to go in there, and even when you're adding the undercolour, you can already see it makes a difference. So So just bear in mind that, you know, this bit here is going to end up going off the muzzle a bit, so it's going to end up going that way as well. And there as well. I mean, this bit's going to be darker. And then just bear in mind that this bit, you have to take it gradually around, because that's the pattern that the fur is taking. It's actually taking quite a few different directions. Hang on. No, let me just take that out. So that's why it's a good thing is to do a light pressure. Right, so it's going that way. And then just slightly changes direction. So we got that part there. That's going to be white around there, whitey grey black, and then we're going to have around here is going to be black. Just bear with me one moment. I'm just going to plot it in. Yeah, and then you've got that part, you've got that bit there, so that bit is going to be, yeah, right, let's have a look. So you've got the black nose, you've got, let me just mark that bit in, plot that bit in. So you've got the black nose, and that way, and you've got the other bit, yeah, coming around that way. It's just going to put it in roughly, very lightly. Then you've got the bottom part of the nostril there, and then that's it, you've got that part. Okay, and then so we've got that bit there. Let's have a look. Got that bit, and then right. So then you've got. So I didn't do all of the line art around here just to plot it in. So that's why it just needs very careful consideration. So you've got that bit. So then that bit will go up there. And then it moves down to there. So yeah, so it's just yeah, that, and then that. Because then you've got from there, so around this part is the black, so I'm just gonna highlight that bit in, just so we know where we're going when we get that part there. Always helps to plot it all in. But yeah, that bit definitely needed some more line art, and I think there's possibly some round here as well, but we'll worry about that when we get there. Yeah, so that goes round there. So then you've got that bit there, which means that can go there. Just gonna make sure this is all in first, and then we can carry on with the terracotta. We got, this is when talking out loud comes in really well. So if I'm talking to yourself, it actually does make a really good deal of sense. So there, yeah, so down to about there. So we got that there. And then if that comes round, got the darker bit there, and then it goes down there, and I'm going to go that way, and then it goes. I know it looks a bit square at the moment, but I'm just sort of plotting bits in. So yeah, there we go. I think that's right now. So then we have, there we go, that bit over through there. So what I should have done was plotted in a bit more line art around here. And yeah, but we will sort that out. Okay. So again, with the light pressure on the paper, just going to go up that way and that way. So then this side again, we're just going to have to plot this way. We have to go very careful around here because we want to ensure that everything is in proportion. So we've got that bit there. That's right, we did that bit there, which was to do with that bit. And then, so with that part, it goes there. Yep, that's it. And then we want to go, that part there. And then it's that way, like that. So that line there is going to be a darker brown. So if I just plot that part in there, and you should be able to see that because that goes where all the darkness, there's a dark patch right under the eye, and that's the very edge of it. So so then you're going to have a darker bit here, and a slightly darker bit there. Just doing it very faintly for the moment, and yeah, so that bit's there. So you can see, if you look very carefully at your reference photo, it sort of looks like it's shifting over the lightness. So let's bring this up a bit so you can see that better. There we go. Yeah, so this bit is darker further across, and then it's lighter more that side. So we've got that. It'd be much easier as well once we've got the nose done. But I just want to make sure that we've got the right part of the colour in. So just gonna mark that bit in. And then we know that that's going to be darker there. Yeah, okay. I think we're all right with that part now. So if we go back to the terracotta. Okay, so with this bit, everything's coming in from this way, like that. And so if you're using the reference photo on the postcard, you have a close look, but if you take a picture of it and you've got it on a, say like a tablet or a smartphone, you can zoom in on this part and then you can sort of see the direction that the fur is going into. But I would probably say this part is generally one of the most difficult parts, because the fur is very short and it goes in all kinds of directions, and it's what we have to sort of really line it up. So I put the marker there from the line art because this bit's going to be a bit lighter. So we are going to, it goes over like that. Then it also goes up that way, like that. There we go. Bringing that in there. And then it's coming in, yeah, it's coming in that way. So although we've got that dark line there, it will be blended in by the time we've added all the colour in. So that's that part, and then so we've got that bit there, and it's coming down that way, and then it goes up that way. Yeah, so very tiny light strokes in that one, because the fur is, as you probably know, shorter on the nose on the animal. Well, especially on a fox anyway. And that way. So I'm going to leave this bit here for the moment until I do the nose, because I want to blend this part in with the fur that's going to go here, and it's more of a, it looks more of a pinky browny colour in this part here, so it's like a slight shade lighter than this. So we'll carry on up here now that we've plotted that in. We'll just carry on up there. If your liner is a bit dark up here, I mean it is showing as quite dark on here, then I'm not going to worry too much about it for the moment, because it's going to have a darker brown fur around there, so it should get rid of it. So this bit goes off over here, pretty much the same as it does over there, but yeah, it definitely needs lighting up over here. So I'm going to try what I mentioned earlier with the white pencil, to see if I can grab some highlights with that. So what we're going to do is we're going to go up to this part, but we're not actually going to do this part. We'll do this part in the next video. We're just going to work on round here today for this one. Right, so I think that's that bit done. I'm just going to go and add in our raw umber, so that's like your next light colour shade, you know, the next part of your light brown. Okay, so right. Going to work on a small area. I'm just going to do this part first and see where we get on with that, because it's quite brown, quite a darker colour here. I mean, it looks like it goes into a more reddy brown around that part. So we're going to be working it in with this bit, so we don't really want to have a harsh line there. So what this is going to do is it's going to bring the two eyes closer together with the colour. Obviously we're not moving the eye, but you know. And then that bit there is going in this direction. it goes in there and then it goes round that way. And then, so whilst you're not seeing much difference in the pigment, it's gradually adding to it. And I'm gonna sort out this part of the dark brown as well in a moment. So it's going across that way. If you find that you're having any problems with and you want any advice on any of these tutorials, then you can contact me on the Pools and Pencils Art subscription box group, or if you want to email me, then you can email me at debbiehiscock@poolsandpencilsart.co.uk. Sorry, I had to think there. Yeah, that is the right one. And you can, if you don't want to take it on the group, then you can ask me a question in private, and then I can give you advice. And then what I can do, if I think the rest of the group will benefit from hearing it, I will just mention that there's been a question, nobody's name needs to be mentioned, and I can just sort of, you know, advise everybody else, just in case someone else is having the same difficulties. But there's also the option on the Facebook group as well. You can always post private, anonymously, and so that nobody else knows who's doing it. Only myself and the other admin will know who's posted it, and we'll keep that confidential. Right. So we're starting off with this one as the fox choices from myself. But what I am going to do is run a few polls, and then we can see what other people would like to do, and the most popular on each poll will win. Although the next subscription box after this, I'll be choosing that one again purely because I'm doing it, keeping it in mind for as we're coming into October. You've got Christmas coming up. You've got Christmas coming up, and so what I wanted to do is do a Robin tutorial, so then you've got time to complete the drawing, and then if you want to, you can get them printed off and made into cards, Christmas cards if you want to, or you can make up, get them printed into postcards. I always use Vistaprint, they're really good, and usually get quite a quick turnaround from them. Any of these drawings that you do, you can if you want to sell them, you can sell them, and if you think any of your friends might like something like this, then by all means give them the details. The more the merrier. So just keeping it light and moving that in that direction. Like that. And so although we did that faint line in earlier just to sort of try and get you know, to plot in the where the colour's going to go, we'll blend it in, because I mean it's going to go straight into dark, but you can see, you'll see some of the dark is just coming in through that, so when we get to that bit it'll all blend in nicely. Right, and we will use the subtraction technique on this as well, like we did with the other bits and other areas. So we've got that line there. That bit needs to be the dark brown coming through. That's it, and then that bit can come in. Okay, so as I said, we're just going to be working around here for the moment. Right, we are going to have a look at the nougat, so you can go up to the next shade of brown that you have available if you don't have the nougat in the polychromos. I'm just going to sharpen this ever so slightly just so I can get some detail in, because the fur is very detailed around here where it's quite short. And I'm going to lift out some bits here because it doesn't look very tidy. Okay, so I'm just gonna go up with that, and then it comes out a bit. Yeah, it comes out like that. And then it goes, yeah, goes down that way. And then kind of, yeah, we've got that bit plotted so that it goes in there. And then you've got that bit going that way and down there. So it is darker there, and then it blends in. Yeah, blends in this way. So it's the bit between the eyes that is darker. So yeah, going over that way. So I hope you're enjoying drawing the fox. It's one of my favourite animals. Is that I like, and I like pigs as well. Okay, and then we want to go that way. So in our next box, like I said, we're doing the robin, and I thought we might like to draw it on pastel mat, and so that will allow for some more layers and more texture to it. I'm actually working on a bird at the moment, actually two birds. I'm doing I've got two works in progress at the moment which I like to do in between tutorials. They're my sitting down and relaxation ones, although this is really relaxing as well, but I like to sort of have a go doing other animals as well, because you know, I might sort of find one that I think, oh, that, you know, that people in the membership would quite like to do. So at the moment I'm working on black pastel mat and using I don't know if I've mentioned this before, but I'm drawing a pelican, and the pelican is showing up really well on the black pastel mat, and for that I have used some coloured pencils on it, but I'm actually going with pastel pencils. So maybe a bit sort of further down the line when we've done a few more boxes, if you know, if it's something you think you're going to like doing, I'll check before we make a start on it and I get all the materials in. But if you want to use pastel pencils on a project, then we can do that. You can let me know if that's what you want to do. But they're really good pastel pencils. I find them they're nice and easy to control. I find rather, you know, more than in fact the you know, your standard like chalk pastels that you get. I find Pitt pastel pencils really nice to use. Okay, so we're getting through this part really well. So we're kind of like gradually covering it. I mean, there's going to be darker bits coming in anyway. And then what we're going to do in a moment is we're going to layer it up again with another darker colour. Like that. Remember, where, as I keep saying, we're following the direction of the fur, which this is actually quite a nice one to do to start off with, because the fur is short and you can see the directions that it's going in, whereas if you do a, for instance, I don't know, like a cockapoo or something with all those curls and waves and that, that's probably going to be a harder one to start off with. But if that's something you think you might want to do later on, then we can do that as well. Okay, a bit more over that way. So we want to blend it into this part here, so we don't have too much of a line going on. It's all gradually coming together. So we do have some darker bits of fur going through than other bits. Okay, so we come through there. And there is that darker part there, and that's leading up to the eye, just below the eye there. Okay, and then so we've got a bit that comes up there, so that's it. So it's comes across there like that. There we go. And this bit here is actually quite a browny colour. That there's a patch there that's more brown, like a light brown than anywhere. So if I actually just put in a dark brown and just, so we've got that part of the eye, and then so then it goes across and goes up a bit. That's it, goes up through there. And see, this bit needs darkening now that I've seen that. Keep knocking the camera. But we'll go over that towards the end. So I just wanted to plot that bit in. So then you've got that bit coming in that way. Okay, and then like that. So with the with this subscription box, I'm actually, because the box is kind of like a basic colour with a couple of stickers on, I'm actually looking to do some research, and so in maybe probably not the next one, maybe hopefully November, December time, there'll be a new look subscription box, because I just need to design it with my new brand logo in my colours, but from the Robin one, I'll be adding in some colour pencils that you're going to need. Some of the colour pencils you're going to need for the Robin photo, sorry, the Robin drawing, and then I'll provide you a link with the website where you can get the rest, if you choose to choose to buy them. You don't have to. We can continue, I can continue giving you the optional colours. And then what will happen is if you do choose to buy that, then what you'll do is you'll find that you'll start having a gradual collection of colour pencils, because you're just buying the ones that that you need for that particular project. And that's exactly how I started off. So you've got some really good value art websites out there. You've got Jackson's. I think theirs might be going for about £2, maybe just over, per pencil. So you don't have to get all of the materials all in one go. You could choose one month and some the next, but yeah, individual ones I think for me it worked out better for me, because I was only buying what I needed, and then once I found that there was other ones I wanted to get, then I would add in the odd occasional extra one so that I could complete my collection that way. But I tend to find that I end up replacing the same shade of colours all the time. So at the moment I use a lot of the browns, the greys, the black. I've bought so many different replacements for the polychromos black, the white, the ivory. It just depends on what your go-to is. But I mean, for instance, when we do the robin next month, there'll be some more browns. So what I'll do is I'll include some of the polychromos browns in with your subscription box. And then what I'll do is, once the box is complete and they're sent off, I will then do a box opening, so people can see what's in the box that month. And looking in the new year to do an informal art workshop. So what we'll do is I will send out a link for Zoom. People who subscribe to the subscription box can sign up for free, and then we can think about inviting people who haven't experienced the subscription box. They can pay a fee, and then we can give them a taste of what the actual subscription box is about. We'll make it very informal. I'll do a poll to see what animal you'd like to draw for the workshop, and then we can all just make a start together. It'd be nice and relaxing. If you want to talk to each other, we can. And then whatever we don't finish in the workshop, then we can go away and complete it, and then share our work. If you feel comfortable too, we can share our work and show everyone what we've done. So so I'm looking forward to doing that. That will be throughout next year, and so I will put a link in the Zoom link in the Facebook group for that. I'll also put it in an email as well. So as you can see, it's not so, the line is getting is blending in a bit more now. Okay, so I want to start adding, I'm going to go with the Caput Mortem Violet. So this is the purpley browny colour, so you might excuse me, if you haven't got a shade like that, and it looks more a bit like a burgundy. If you haven't got that, then by all means choose a slightly darker shade of brown. It doesn't really matter. It's I'm just going to sort of try this to sort of see what sort of colour I can get out of it. I mean, that's the thing with things like this. We can all have the same materials, and yet we can all end up with different results, because each person, although you're following what I'm doing, and you'll have the materials, you'll find that you will have a different way of drawing, you have a different way of holding your pencil, and so you'll probably end up with different results from each other. So that's always an interesting thing. So that would be really good to sort of see that, to see what we've all come up with. Right, I think rather than putting that on next, I am going to use some of the walnut brown, which is, yeah, I'll go with the darker brown for the moment. I'm just going to sharpen that slightly. So I'm using my Prismacolor pencil sharpener, and it's got the two different lengths of lead, and I'm using the shorter one so it doesn't actually take up too much pencil. So I'm just going to add some of this in, just so that I can, yeah, add some like that. More definition of colour. I mean, it is going to go and be lighter. I think this bit round here is going to be more of the Caput Mortuum violet, and there is also the Caput Mortuum as well. Did I get that one out? Yeah, see, like you've got, that's the Caput Mortuum, and then slight difference in colour. So the violet one is the deeper one, and the Caput Mortuum is the lighter one. So I'm going to keep both of them out, because the violet's a bit more reddier. Okay. So when you use the Sarrel drafting film on pastel matte, it hides a lot better because of the amount of layers that you can add. Whereas this paper that we're using at the moment, it's very smooth, and so it won't take a lot of layers, which is why you can still see some of the line art coming through. But when we go to use the pastel matte, it will hide it. So we've got that bit there, which is the darker bit. Oh, and I've hit the camera again. I think with this bit I'm gonna just trying to think now. I'm not going to add the terracotta. I'm just going to try the Caput Mortuum just to see what that one does. So it comes out like that. Yeah, and when we're actually working on different surfaces, you're going to find a huge difference in the style of the drawing. So how your picture turns out here when you're working with the pastel matte, you're going to be doing a different technique. So it's like light over darks. You'll be adding in your layers, and then once you've got all your layers in, because you have to remove the tooth of the paper from what you can see through your pencils. You know, it takes out the line art, but you also get a lot richer colour into it. and I think the colours will work better as well. But this is like really good for a start though, because it gives you some idea of what the pencils are going to come out like on different layers. I mean, also you've also got the rest of the sketchbook you can use for practicing blending your colours, practicing like the subtraction technique. So you could run a block of colour, then you could use a rubber or your Tombow eraser if you've got one, and practice in finer areas. So yeah, that one. Yeah, actually that one is not doing too badly. And then it goes out into, I'm going to try the burnt umber. So it's a dark brown again, but a slightly different shade to the walnut brown. I think this bit needs a bit of that caput mortuum as well. I mean, this is an extra colour that I've added since completing the materials list, so don't worry if you haven't got this one. But the caput mortuum pencils are a really nice shade. And I'm just going to blend a few bits in there. And going over that way. So we've got some, that's it, over there. And so we need to give that part some colour. Just going to add in a bit of the burnt umber. Oh. So that adds a nice rich colour to it. And so this bit kind of like goes up there, it's got a different direction to it. And then I'm just going to go over with the caput mortuum just to sort of make it a bit richer. Now this part needs to have a bit more oomph to it. So it's got that part, and then it's got goes around like that. I'm actually quite liking that caput mortuum. It's coming out really good, but this bit here needs a bit more base colour to it, so I am going to go in with the nougat. Where are we? Oh, there we go. Yeah, need to add some more depth to it. I'm actually going to sharpen it a bit. So it's, you know, you can gradually sort of see this all coming together. It's looking really good actually. But I can sort of see where we're going to need different, we're going to need to add colour and a bit more texture to it. But before we end this session, I'm going to have a quick go at that that white watercolour pencil. So we've got that there. Yeah. And I think it needs a bit of lighter tones in it as well, which we can do in a moment. I mean, this bit needs to be darkish because it's got a bit coming out like that. Few more bits over here actually, because it was darker on that part. Right. Just wondering whether it needs, oh, done it wrong, I've done it again. I don't think it needs a Venetian red. I just don't think it's got that in it. I'm going to give it a go. This is like a, I don't know, like a darker salmon-y colour. It doesn't matter if you don't have it though. This is just like an extra thought sort of going into my head. Yeah, not too sure about that, but we'll go with it. Actually, it's not going, that's not too bad. Right, I am just going to get the combo out. Have I already got that out? No, I didn't. I can find it. Oh. sure where that is. Oh, yes I do. It's in a different section. Okay, just making sure. Yeah, that's clean enough. Okay, so I'm just going to, it's darker there, so I'm just going to go the direction of the fur. So we are going to have to go back in there again. This bit is going to need to be darker, so we're going to do that bit as well. But yeah, it's getting there. Right, so I want to add, just wondering actually if I've got any other shades of brown. Don't worry if you don't. What's that one? Oh, I'm going to give this one. So it's a Van Dyke Brown Polychromos. As you can see, I use that one quite a lot. And I'm wondering whether, so I've just taken my jumper off, it's very hot in here, whether that's the colour or the shade that I'm actually looking for. Right, okay, let's have a look. So we have, I think it is. This is a very good shade of brown to have in your collection, so I'll do that for the next subscription box because I'm pretty sure it's going to be a nice one to add to the Robin. Tell it's warm in here. My hands are sticking to the paper. Right. So that bit goes there because that's an extra bit poking out. But I do like this Van Dyke Brown. It's one of the ones I'm pretty sure if you were to get a set of Polychromos, it would be one of the ones that's actually in a standard set. Because it is, I think, for some of the other pencil browns as well. Okay. So we want that to be over that way because we've got, then that bit will come down that way. Yeah. So we want to go around that way. It's actually this colour is actually added to the volume, so I quite like this one, and I think that one probably, yeah, that would have been good over that way as well. So it goes down very nicely. Yeah, that's really nice, that one. And then it would have gone. See, that's the thing when you're like I mentioned in one of the other lessons, you know, it's all about trial and error and finding your shades, really looking at what you need, and then sometimes it just suddenly just falls into place and you think, ah, that's the shade that I want. So I'm just going to do a bit of subtraction there. So as you can see, it's blended quite nicely, because this was the bit, the line there that was standing out, and yeah, then it sort of yeah, goes up round that way, and then let's carry on with that, and then I'm just gonna, there's my paintbrush. Need to define this a bit, that needs to be defined a bit more, so I think that might need the caput mortuum as well. Yeah, let's have a look, because it's going to be darker around the eyes and then around here, and then it's going to be lighter here. Okay, and we're just going to go underneath like that. So there we go, and let's add a bit more of that Van Dyke brown up there as well. That, yeah, and just have my son walk in. They've just husband and son have just gone to the gym and just come back. Yeah, this is a really nice shade actually. They both go really well together. And then I just want to, you can see it's rich, but then the Van Dyke brown tones it down slightly. So we want, yeah, that bit like that. There we go. Just do circle, light circle movement there. Okay, we want, so I just add that bit up there and then add a bit there. I know we said we were going to do this afterwards, but I think it's gonna, if I can get that white to work, then I think that's going to look really good, because round here it's going to be very light as well. So if I just put in the raw umber, the light brown, around here, just as a placement, there we go, because then, so then that, there it is there. Yeah, because then we've got like a bit coming through there. Right. So So yeah, this is going to come down really nice actually. So we've got that there, and then it's going to slot in very nicely there. You can just about see that. So, but yeah, that's just plotted in a bit. Okay. Oh. So just going to add some more of the caput mortem in it. And then I want to add some here. So I want to get that over like that. So I'm just following, as that bit looks like it's going round like that, and then it sort of, it goes underneath that light part, like so. So that bit's darker, and that bit's lighter, and then that bit's darker as well. And then what we do, that's it, as we go in like that. It's quite dark in there. And just the violet, we'll add a bit more red to it. I mean, there's not much difference in the shade there. Oh, I'm wondering if I can get the sanguine, no, sorry, the Venetian red, which is like a dark salmony pinky colour. So you can see it's building up around here. Okay. Just add in some of the Venetian red into this part as well. Yeah. Okay, and that in there. So I want to add some slightly darker values through here. And then up through there as well. It goes quite straight there, and then I'm going to add some more of the Venetian red in here. And then I also want to just going to try this the Museum Aquarelle, and I'm just going to try and dab the top with my finger, make it slightly damp. And I'm just wondering, oh, Yes, it does. Just want to add some highlights to it to see how that works out. And it's actually, I think it's going on all right. Just one of those experimentations again. If you don't have one of these, then don't worry about it, but this is something also that can be brought individually. Okay. So it's got some light bits coming through. And coming through up here as well. But then we can also bring it out with darker colours underneath. Yeah. And then we've got that bit there. That's a light part. We can highlight that with. And that bit, but that will need other colour underneath, but I'm pleased with how this is turning out. So yeah, we can just bring some bits through there, and then we can add some more more to it. So there we go, so we can do a bit more there. And then what we can do is we can add, I was actually quite happy with that, the way that's going down, and then I will just add a bit more to define them. But that's going to be that colour, and we are going to have a bit more out here as well. But as I say, if you don't have one of these, then a white pencil or a creamy pencil will be fine. Yeah. Yeah, I'm really pleased with that. That's turned out better than I thought it was going to. Again, just a bit of experimentation. And there you go, you can see that bit. Okay. Right. So I'm just going to add in, let's have a bit more of the Van Dyke brown, just so I can add a bit more texture through with this. Venetian red. Okay. And the raw umber. Let's do a bit more over here. What we might have to do is wait for this to dry a bit, as it's a watercolour pencil. Yeah, because this bit was the thicker area of the white. So yeah, that's looking good. So we'll leave this one here, and then on the next video we will maybe try and make that a bit lighter, and then move on to this part here, and if we can get that bit done, then we might be able to start on there. But okay, so as I say, if you've got any queries at this stage, then by all means please do contact me.